Hello students. Students, welcome you all to the English class. And now let's continue our chapter number 8, Silk Road, from page number 76. The turns became sharper and the ride bumpier. Bumpier means rough. Zayton now in third gear as we continue to climb. Now the Zayton was driving the car in third gear as they were climbing, and the turns were becoming more sharper and their ride was becoming rough. The track moved away from the icy river. Now, the route they were taking, they were moved away from the icy river. Now, they were away from the icy river, laboring through steeper slopes. But they had to do much hard work to go through the steeper slopes as the slopes were becoming more steeper. That spotted big rocks daubed with patches of bright orange lichen. Even now, they could see, along with the steeper slopes, there were the big rocks, and under the big rocks, they could see the rocks were covered with the patches of bright orange lichens. Beneath the rocks, hunks of snow clung on in the near permanent shade. And even beneath means under the rocks, the pieces of snow could be seen that were clung on in the near permanent shade. I felt the pressure building up in my ears, held my nose, snorted and cleared them. Snorted means made loud sound. Now the author was feeling the pressure was building up in his ears. Then he held his nose and started to make the noise and cleared his nose. We struggled round another tight bend. Now again they had a sharp bend before them. They struggled, and Zayton stopped. But Zayton stopped the car. He had opened his door and jumped out of his seat before I realized what was going on. Snow, said Daniel as he too exited the vehicle, letting in a breath of cold air as he did so. Now again they were struggling hard to move towards the tight bend, the sharp bends, and then Zayton stopped the car and then he came out of his seat. The author realized the author realized what was happening. Actually, there was snow. Then Daniel spoke with excitement. He said snow, and he also came out of the vehicle and he started letting the breath of cold air inside him. A swathe of the white stuff lay across the track in front of us. Swathe means a broad area of long strip of land. Now they could see that there was white stuff. White stuff means here the ice was there on the way in front of them, stretching for maybe 15 meters before it pattered out and a dirt trail reappeared. And it was stretching for about 15 meters and then it pattered means it disappeared. Then it gradually disappeared and again there was dirt trail. Again they were on the dirty trail, dirty route. The snow continued on either side of us, and snow was on both the sides of their route, smoothing the abrupt bank on the upslope side. The bank was too steep for our vehicle to scale, but now the bank was so much steep that it was not able to drive the vehicle to scale to climb the vehicle. So there was no way round the snow patch. I joined Daniel as Zayton stepped onto encrusted snow and began to slither and slide forward, stamping his foot from time to time to ascertain how sturdy it was. Encrusted means covered with hard layer. Then the author also joined Daniel as they saw that Satan was also stepping on the encrusted snow, the snow that was covered with the hard layers, and he was trying to keep it aside, to move it aside, and he was stamping his foot from time to time to make sure that how sturdy it was, how strong it was. It was very firm. Now the author saw that Daniel and Zayton they both were stepping on the encrusted snow and they were keeping it aside, putting it aside as they were stamping their foot on the snow from time to time. I looked at my wristwatch. We were at 5,200 meters above sea level. Then the author looked at his wristwatch, and now it was a wristwatch that could measure the height where they were now, and they were about 5,200 meters above the sea level. The snow didn't look too deep to me, but the danger wasn't its depth, Daniel said, so much as its icy top layer. Now, the snow didn't seem to them that it was so deep. It was not a danger for them. The depth of the snow was not a danger, but the danger was its icy top layer. If we slip off, the car could turn over. As they were afraid that if they would slip off, then their car could also turn over. He suggested, as we saw Zayton grab handfuls of dirt and fling them across the frozen surface. Fling means to throw. Then they saw that the Zayton was grabbing handfuls of dirt. He was picking a handful of dirt and he was throwing them across the frozen surface. We both pitched in, and when the snow was spread with soil, Daniel and I stayed out of the vehicle to lighten Zayton's load. And now they both also started to help Zayton. They also put the dirt on the snow so that the way could be made smooth for them to drive the car. Then Daniel and the author remained out of the vehicle so that the load of the Zayton could be reduced. He backed up and drove towards the dirty snow, eased the car on to its icy surface, and slowly drove its length without apparent difficulty. Now he was able to drive his car on the snow that was filled with dirt. Now it was made easy for them. For it was made easy to for him to drive the car, and now he drove the car without any difficulty. 10 minutes later, we stopped at another blockage. Again, there was one more obstacle on the way. Again, they stopped. Not good, sir, Zayton announced as he jumped out again to survey the scene. Now, he again announced something is bad. Again, he came out of the car. He wanted to see what had happened. This time, he decided to try and drive round the snow. But now, he decided that he will try and he will drive his car around the snow. The slope was steep and studded with major rocks. Studded means full of. Now the slope was again very much steep and it was full of major rocks, filled with major rocks. But somehow Zayton negotiated them. But somehow he managed his four-wheel drive vehicle lurching from one obstacle to the next. Lurching means moving suddenly and then stopping. It was uncontrollable. Again, he found that his vehicle was uncontrollable as there were obstacles one after the another. In so doing, he cut off one of the hairpin bends. Hairpin bends mean sharp bends, regaining the trail further up where the snow had not drifted. Again, there were many obstacles on the way, and there was one of the sharp bends, hairpin bends on the way, and again they were on the route where the snow was not drifted, where the snow was not carried away. I checked my watch again as we continued to climb in the bright sunshine. Again, the author checked his watch. Again, they continued to climb in the bright sunshine. We crept past 5,400 meters and my head began to throb horribly. Throb means to beat. Now they had climbed 5,400 meters and his head started to throb, started to beat horribly. I took gulps from my water bottle. Gulp means to take large water very quickly and to swallow it. Then the author took water from his water bottle, which is supposed to help a rapid ascent, which helped him to climb again. We finally reached the top of the pass at 5,515 meters. It was marked by a large cairn of rocks. First, cairn of rocks means heap of stones. Festooned means decorated, festooned with white silk scarves and dragged prayer flags. Now they saw a large heap of stones, and it was decorated with white silk scarves and ragged prayer flags. Ragged means torn out. It was just like a monument. We all took a turn round the cairn in a clockwise direction, as is the tradition, and Zayton checked the tires on his vehicle. Now, the author and Daniel both took the turn round the cairn, round the heap of stones, in clockwise direction, as is the tradition, and Zayton checked the tires on his vehicle. He stopped at the petrol tank and partially unscrewed the top. Unscrewed means opened the top. Then he stopped his car at the petrol tank and then he opened the top, which emitted a loud hiss. But as he opened the top, it made a loud hiss, loud sound. The lower atmospheric pressure was allowing the fuel to expand. It was because of the lower atmospheric pressure that the fuel was expanding. It sounded dangerous to me. Maybe, sir, Zayton laughed, but no smoking. Now, it seemed dangerous to the author, but Zayton started laughing and he said that it may be dangerous, but there should be no smoking around here. My headache soon cleared as we hurried down to the other side of the pass. As earlier, the head was beating of the author as he was feeling headache, but now it was cleared. As we hurried down the other side of the pass, hurried means they climbed down the other side of the pass. It was 2 o'clock by the time we stopped for lunch. Now they took rest for lunch. It was 2 o'clock. We ate hot noodles inside a long canvas tent, part of a work camp erected beside a dry salt lake. Erected means established. Now they ate hot noodles. They ate hot noodles inside a long canvas tent. It was a part of a work camp that was established beside a dry salt lake. The plateau is pockmarked. Pockmarked means dotted. The plateau is pockmarked with salt flats and brackish lakes. Salt flats means the flat land where salty water has dried, leaving salts deposits. And brackish lakes means again salty lakes. Now they saw the plateau was dotted with salt flats and brackish lakes, vestiges of the Tethys Ocean which bordered Tibet before the great continental collision that lifted it skyward. Now also they could see the vestiges means remains. The remains of the Tethys Oceans were also there, which bordered Tibet before the great continental collision. This one was a hive of activity. Men with pickaxes and shovels trudging back and forth in their long sheepskin coats and salt encrusted boots. Now they could see the activities that men with pickaxes and shovels, and they were trudging back and forth. Trudging means walking. They were walking back and forth in their long sheepskin coats, and also they were wearing salt encrusted boots. All wore sunglasses against the glare as a steady stream of blue trucks emerged from the blindingly white lake laden with piles of salt. Also, they were wearing sunglasses because they could see the glare was coming towards them, the stream of a steady stream of blue trucks that was coming from the blindingly white lake laden with piles of salt. The trucks which were filled with piles of salt. Now, to protect themselves from the glare of the sunlight, they were wearing sunglasses. By late afternoon, we had reached the small town of Hor, back on the main east west highway that followed the old trade route from Lhasa to Kashmir. Now, by late afternoon, they reached to the small town of Hor and back on the main east west highway that was the old route from Lhasa to Kashmir. Daniel, who was returning to Lhasa, found a ride in a truck, so Zayton and I bade him farewell outside a tire repair shop. Now, as Daniel had found that one of the trucks was going to Lhasa, and he also wanted to return to Lhasa. So he took ride in truck, and so Zeytin and the author bade him farewell, and they were outside a tire repair shop. We had suffered two punctures in quick succession on the drive down from the Salt Lake, and Zeytin was eager to have them fixed since they left him with no spares. Quick succession means one after the another. As they had suffered two punctures one after the another on the drive down from the Salt Lake, and Sedan was eager. He wanted to fix his punctures, as he was left with no spare tire now. Besides, the second tire he had changed had been replaced by one that was as smooth as my bald head. Now, author compares the tire with his bald head, the tire which was replaced, and it was very much smooth. Hor was a grim, miserable place. Now, he found that now they were in Hor. Hor was a very sad place, it was a miserable place. There was no vegetation whatsoever, just dust and rocks. Now he could see that there was no vegetation around the city. It was full of only dust and rocks, liberally scattered with years of accumulated refuse. And this dust and rock had been scattered there, had been there because of scattering of the accumulated refuse. Means the people had thrown much refuse there, and it had changed in the form of a dust and rocks, which was unfortunate given that the town sat on the shore of Lake Mansarovar. Now, the town was on the shore of Lake Mansarovar, which was, we can say, it was very much unfortunate, as it was Tibet's most venerated stretch of water, because it was considered that the river Mansarovar was venerated. Venerated means respected area of water. Ancient Hindu and Buddhist cosmology pinpoints, cosmology means science of universe, pinpoints Mansarovar as the source of four great Indian rivers. As in ancient Hindu and Buddhist cosmologists say that the Mansarovar is the source of four great Indian rivers: the Indus, the Ganges, the Sutlej, and the Brahmaputra. Actually, only the Sutlej flows from the lake, but the headwaters of the others all rise nearby on the flanks of Mount Kailash. Flanks means sides. It is said that the Sutlej river flows from the lake, but the headwaters of the other three rivers rise nearby on the sides of the Mount Kailash. We were within striking distance of the great mountain, and I was eager to forge ahead. Now, they were within the short distance of the great mountain, and he was very much eager to go ahead. But I had to wait. Zeytin told me to go and drink some tea in Horse Only Cafe, which, like all the other buildings in town, was constructed from badly painted concrete and had three broken windows. But now the author had to wait, as Zeytin was trying to repair his car, and he told the author to go and take some tea in the Horse Only Cafe. There was only one cafe in Hor, and the building of the Hor was in very poor condition. It was constructed from very badly painted concrete and had three broken windows. The good view of the lake through one of them helped to compensate for the drought. But there was one thing, there was only one thing that was good. The view of the lake could be seen from there. I was served by a Chinese youth in military uniform who spread the grease around on my table, filthy rag, before bringing me a glass and thermos of tea. Now, the author was served by a Chinese youth. He was wearing the military uniform, and he had spread the oil around his table with a filthy, very bad piece of cloth before bringing him a glass and a thermos of tea. Half an hour later, Zeytin relieved me from my solitary confinement, and we drove past a lot more rocks and rubbish westwards out of town towards Mount Kailash. Now, after half an hour, Zaitan accompanied him. He relieved him from his solitary, from his loneliness, confinement, and they started driving again. They passed a lot more rocks and rubbish westwards out of town towards Mount Kailash. Now they left the city hall, they left the rocks and rubbish on the backside, and they were moving towards the Mount Kailash. My experience in Hor came as a stark contrast to accounts I had read of earlier travelers' first encounters with Lake Mansarovar. Now, the author's experience in Hor was very bad. It was really contrast to the accounts he had read earlier. As he had read earlier, travelers' first encounters with Lake Mansarovar, but now his experience was totally opposite to that. Ekai Kawaguchi, a Japanese monk who had arrived there in 1900, was so moved by the sanctity of the lake, sanctity means holiness of the lake, that he burst into tears. Now, for the first time, when Ekai Kawaguchi, a Japanese monk, had visited here, he was so much impressed by the holiness of the lake that he had burst into tears. He had become very much emotional. A couple of years later, the hallowed waters had a similar effect on Sven Hedin. Even after 2 years, there was one more experience of Sven Hedin. He had also very good experience, a Swede who wasn't prone to sentimental outbursts, but he was not as emotional as the Japanese monk, but he was also impressed by the holiness of the lake. But the experience of the author was totally different. Now he could see only that the condition of the river was very bad. Even the people were throwing refuse, dust, rubbish into the river. So, students, this is all about the day. The next part of the chapter we will continue in the next class. Till then, goodbye and have a nice day.